In this video, I'm going to teach you how to edit more engaging, fast-paced videos. Welcome. For those who are new here, my name is Peter Sarellas. I'm a videographer and editor from Toronto, Canada. I specialize in sports videography. And in today's video, I'm going to be talking about some of the tips that I use when I'm editing together fast-paced sports video edits for my work. So the first tip that I have for making fast-paced edits is to cut multiple camera angles together. A lot of the times when I'm editing, there will be footage that I have from multiple people who are filming the same game. And when I can find a play that I want to use in a video, but maybe the play takes too long to transpire, I can cut multiple camera angles together to show the beginning, middle, and end of that specific play without needing to actually make the viewer sit through the whole thing. So say there's a sequence where a player gets a steal, he's dribbling up the court, and then he dunks the ball. If I have multiple camera angles, I can show the steal happening, then I can show the player throwing down a dribble, and instead of showing the player dribbling all the way up the court, I can cut to a second camera angle that shows the player putting down his last dribble before he goes for a layup. Now I have a sequence of a player stealing the ball and going for a layup that only takes a couple of seconds and shows the start and the end to get the message of that action across, rather than staying on one camera and showing the entire thing, which is going to take longer and might take the viewer out of the video. I understand that a lot of people who are watching this and could be filming sports games might not have multiple camera angles, and that's okay. The same principle applies. You can jump cut through your videos a lot of the time to do the same thing, especially if you're shooting event work and you're going to be constantly zooming the camera in and zooming it out. You can show the start of an action and then jump cut and show the end of an action. And you don't need to worry about the shots looking too similar because you'll be zooming in, zooming out, trying to track the player. The background will be changing, the framing will be changing, and these shots could still blend together seamlessly without you showing a full action. And if I'm being quite honest, I jump cut sometimes in my videos, even when I know that the clips are going to look very similar when I cut, and I choose to jump cut as a stylistic choice. I don't think that it's necessarily a bad thing if you're making mixes for social media, and it really just depends on the purpose of your story, but don't be afraid of jump cutting if you don't have multiple camera angles, and if you do have multiple camera angles, make sure you're cutting these together and going back and forth between the angles that you have available to you to show actions more quickly, skip over the parts that aren't really necessary for your story, and get through to the next action more fast, quicker. Speed your clips up. I'm not saying that you need to speed your clips up to 200% speed, but a lot of the time when I'm editing sports videos, I'll speed my clips up from 100% to like 110, 115% speed. This change of speed isn't really noticeable, but it just makes the play happen faster. You're able to cut on an earlier beat and move on to the next play a little bit sooner than you would have been able to otherwise if you didn't speed the clip up. And it doesn't really look unnatural because 10% speed honestly just isn't really that noticeable when you're watching videos on social media. A lot of the time if a player's taking his first step, like if he's going to cross over a defender and try to beat him, I'll slowly ramp the speed up, and then right when he takes that first step to go past his defender, I'll speed the clip up 15%, and then I'll slowly speed it down during the course of his drive to the basket, for example. And this allows me to get through the play faster, and it makes the player look like he's faster and more dynamic, and it kind of makes the whole edit more exciting. When you're editing a fast-paced video, you usually want to pick a song that has a higher beats per minute. Not saying that you can't edit good fast-paced videos to slower songs, you certainly can, but picking a song that has a higher BPM, like 120 or 125, or even faster if you can find a good song that you like, can really be an effective way to keep your edit moving, because when you're editing a sports video, you're going to be editing it to the music, and having more beats gives you the opportunity to cut faster. The beat will loop more rapidly, so you're going to have to move on from play to play at a faster rate than you would with a slower video, or a slower song rather. And this is going to allow you to put more plays into a video of the same length and really condense things so that you can tell the story that you want to tell on a social media video that has a time constraint on it. Additionally, I highly recommend that you go through and actually mark the beats on your songs, wherever you do this by physically placing markers on your timeline to show every single beat that you think you can cut on in your song, or if you listen to it enough times and you know what beats are coming up and you have an idea of what timestamps you could possibly cut at. This is just gonna remind you that you have these opportunities coming up where you can cut, and it will mark the places where you can end your clip while keeping your video on pace with the music that you've selected. My final tip for making fast-paced video edits is to cut similar plays together. A good example of this when I'm editing basketball videos is maybe I have a player who has two clips of him getting assists. So instead of me showing assist number 1 and then assist number 2 and keeping these clips separate, I'll show the start of the first clip and then I'll show the start of the second clip. I'll then show the middle of the first clip where the player makes the pass, and then the middle of the second clip where the player makes a pass. And at the end, I'll show the 2 payoffs of the person that he passed to finishing and the player getting his 2 assists. This conveys the same message that putting the 2 clips separately would, which is that the player is a good passer, but it does it in a more engaging way where the viewer has more to think about. It also creates a bigger payoff at the end because they get to see 2 good baskets finish right at the same time, which if you do this on a big beat drop, for example, can be a really emphatic moment in your video. And I don't see a ton of people cutting together multiple plays in this sense, which is why I think it also makes your video stand out. Whereas if you're watching ESPN, for example, you're seeing play after play in order all the time. So people are really used to consuming this way. So I highly recommend that you try to group similar plays together when you're calling your footage for videos. This can make your video stand out, and I do it all the time to make my fast-paced video edits stand out when I post them on social media. All right, that is gonna be all for this video. I hope that you found some of these tips helpful and are gonna be able to edit more engaging, fast-paced sports videos as a result. If you like this video, then please make sure to subscribe because I post videography and video editing tips and tutorial videos just like this one on a regular basis, and I would love to have you around for those. And let me know in the comments if you have any other tips for editing fast-paced videos. I would love to hear from you down there, and I'm sure that other people watching this video would get some benefit out of the things that you have to say as well. Anyways, that's gonna be all for this video. So until next time, peace.